Welcome to the Mortara ELI 280 ECG initial assembly and startup video. These are the packages you should have received, and this is what the new ECG looks like. We'll also be assembling the base that looks similar to that. First thing to do is to open the boxes, and inside you'll see there are two sub boxes. Remove those from the main box. Open these boxes and remove the contents. This particular box has the wheeled base as well as the arm that will hold the wired module. The second box has all the other pieces for the base: the tray, the bin, and the large center pole. Here are all the pieces that you'll get from the box. And here are all the small parts to be looking for. Note it also comes with the Allen wrenches that are necessary. Look for the manual that looks something like this, and we'll begin by assembling the base. Take the large pole, and using 4 screws with 4 washers, we will attach them together. Put the screws through the base into the pole and turn them until they are finger tight. You may want to use a screwdriver with a removable head to give yourself a little extra torque, as the screws on this do have Loctite on them to help hold them in place. That makes them fairly stiff to turn in with just the Allen wrench. Once they've all been screwed in, turn it over to prepare for the next step. We'll now assemble the bin. Take the bin assembly bracket, slide it into the groove on the front side of the pole. Note that the longer legs are the front of the cart, and place it about 1/3 of the way from the bottom. It doesn't need to be precisely any height, just what's convenient for you. And then using the smaller Allen wrench, tighten down the screws. The bin then slides over that and snaps into place. We'll now place the top tray onto the center pole. The tray fits neatly onto the pole. It should just slide right onto it. Again, finger tight the screws into the 4 slots. And then using the Allen wrench, tighten them down. When you've tightened them down with the long end, and use the short end to be able to get a little more torque on it, and tighten them down all the way. We're now going to assemble the arm that holds the AM12 unit. Line up the 2 holes in the bottom of the pole and place it into the hole in the top. Then, using the appropriate screws, screw them through the bottom of the plate. Note the screws are tight going in. You may have to force them through the initial face of that hole, but once they go in, they turn freely. Now it's time to open the ECG. Remove all the contents of the box. In there you'll find the AM12 unit, the leads, paper, instructions on a CD, power cord, electrode tabs, and of course the ECG itself. Remove the ECG from the package and remove it from the plastic. Here's what you should expect to see in the box. On the ECG, you're going to take the 2 cylinders that came with the base and screw them on. And then once you've done that, you will place the ECG onto the base. It should just go right into the holes. On the bottom, there's a lever. Carefully pull it. It can be very tight, and it can pinch your fingers if you get them between the plastic and the lever. So when you're pulling, please be careful. Note, this is what it looks like with the cylinders that are attached to the bottom of the ECG. They go into the holes on the top, through the bar, and then when you pull the lever, it snaps into place. Finally, you'll need to put a screw into the hole in the lever, and this locks the ECG onto the base. Now you can place the plugs into the holes that remain. The plugs can be a little feisty, so just do your best with them. Plug in the power cord. It goes on the right side of the back of the ECG. And now we'll plug in the AM12 unit. The end of it looks like a USB, but you need to make sure you put it to the far left where it says ECG. Any other slot and it will not function properly. Now place the leads into the AM12 unit and make sure that they're securely put in place. And you can mount the AM12 unit into the holder. This will help keep the leads out of the way. Now for startup, plug in the unit, remove the plastic from the screen. Note the settings that are shown here. Hit done. Now we need to adjust the time settings. In this case, we begin with the time zone. Change that by tapping on it. Now we'll adjust the hour. Again, tapping on it and selecting the hour, and tapping on the minutes and selecting the correct minutes. We also need to adjust daylight savings and hit done. We're just about there. Now we need to add the paper. Open the top, take your paper, removing the cardboard, grab the top sheet and pull it out so it's outside about 2 to 3 inches and close the lid on the paper. The first time you print, it will feed this sheet through and calibrate the paper properly. This is the Mortara ELI 280. Please consult your A&M for any additional information and training on how to use the unit.